but we had issues that we had to resolve before starting this morning. So I crave the indulgence of our audience, our media team, our interpreters, the security, and everyone who is here present. We will have to do a change in the timing because it is almost the time that we went on short break. So we will now continue until the lunch break. Is that okay with you, lead team? Okay, so now we start with our usual prayers, Imam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Rahman Rahim Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Alhamdulillahi hadina li hadha wa ma kunna linahtadi lawla an hadina Allahu al-awwal wal-akhir waz-zakhir wal-batin. Ya Rabbana lakal hamd kama yanbaghi wa jalalu wajhika wa 'aziman sultanika. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin khatimin nabiyina wa imamil mursalin. Hurmati Allahumma sallim wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amen.
Amen. Bishop, can you lead us in Christian prayers, please?
Thank you, Madam Deputy. Lord God of power and might, the God of all creation, of all humankind, we submit the sittings of the TRRC to you, and we submit all the witnesses that will come forth to testify, and we also submit the populace unto you, and that you will grant us the spirit of patience, so that we'll be able to see this process through in the normal way. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Council, you can start.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Good morning to all. May I ask that they also bring in the witness, please? The witness is already positioned. Can you kindly swear in the witness without publicly announcing his or her name?
I speak the truth. I speak the truth. The whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Is the audio clear to everyone here? I could barely hear the witness. I am not sure whether the witness's microphone was very clear. Perhaps maybe we can hear better with the earpiece. But we have these televisions here. It therefore means that the people watching are seeing exactly the same thing as us, and therefore the same audio. So, but it's not very good, or was not very good. So could you take it again and we see whether it would be different?
I do swear that I speak the truth, I will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me God. So help me God.
I am seeing the usher complaining. Could you let us know what the problem is? Mr. Witness, you may be seated. Mr. Osha, can you let us know what the problem is? And I don't think the connections are the best under the circumstance. The echo is too much. Okay, it's now, well, I think the echo is gone. Perhaps maybe we can just start and see whether all will be well as we proceed. We are now back. Hello?
Testing. Mic test. Mic test.
Hello? I think the microphones are now okay. Can we hear the witness say something, please? It's gone again. It's gone again.
Mbali konton na koteke TRRC jang. Fem bella moy kan mbal bismillah.
Hello?
Yes.
Are we good? Are we okay now?
Yes.
Well, I'm watching the screens. It doesn't seem that we are on air at the moment. Okay. I think the voice is good now. Can we hear the witness say something? Are you okay in the witness booth? Can you indicate by saying yes or no?
Yes, we are.
You are okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you. The only problem I have is that the volume is very low. Could you speak louder into the microphone? Could you bring the microphone lower, please, and closer? Is it okay, witness?
It's okay.
Thank you. And QTV, can we go back on air? Hello? Can everyone hear me? Witness, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Do we, Madam Chairperson, could we have it on the record that the witness has taken the oath to speak the truth? Thank you. So we proceed. Witness, there is a protected information sheet in front of you. Can you see it?
Selo kaito binya tili wala me yalonko kullo kaito le membe be safirin je kullo le mo ya jele bang.
Yes.
And could you confirm that the name on the sheet is actually your name.
Yes, indeed.
Can you also confirm the date of birth?
Yes, it is.
Are we getting interpretation for the answer?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Could you confirm that the date of birth that is written on the document is your correct date of birth?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you also confirm that you work on the place mentioned on the next line in the document?
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
As we progress, Mr. Witness, there may be some information you may not wish to disclose. So we will ask you to write it on the protected information sheet in front of you. And at the end of the hearing, you would be expected to sign that document and give it back to us. Understood?
Consider nim continental la morola kibar dol be kayto kono mialon ko menen na afola sayanga bedame nin tarafum pareta sede yarola iba sayna asanto to katande ko kulo mialon ko wole keringi.
I am not sure I was understood. So
progress na diamo kono nimbita ka nyame mbe futala kibaro doluma me yalon ko imanyam fola bari itaba safelale kayto nyimbala membe lari nyati lula je ka fola protected sheet me yalon ko kullu kayto le moti ya fahamu le bang.
I understand.
I understand.
Thank you very much. We would add onto the protected information sheet your educational background. You can write that later before we end your testimony. Understood?
Kaito nyimbala memmo kullo kaito nyindi ila karamu londo kabira datita fu adanta dami wo fanambe safela jele bari wobekela le jannimbe mbandi la itala sede yaro wuce okon yo fanam fahamu le bang.
I understand.
I understand.
What is your profession?
Muna mo ila do kuwati.
I am a medical practitioner.
Ntemu jara laliti.
And what is your area of specialization?
Jara rokono fanna jumala mu itala do ku foti yemenno jara rokono.
I am a physician inclined towards sexual and reproductive health.
Ntemu jara ro fanna do ku lamenti wolemna do ku tilinta jido jata kende ya kunya lula do ku nyinkono.
And do you specialize in any particular area in sexual and reproductive health?
Jido jata kende ala karola fa fanna bijele dama ya lonko wala keta ila tuku fonti yemen buhabu ya ila do ko kono.
In sexual and reproductive health, my inclination is towards HIV.
Jido jata kende a fanana karola nanya tilinya kita menti wala munyin HIV jankaro kenyati.
And by inclination, can I take it that you mean your specialization, your area of focus?
Amunda kuwa funyamin wanya ilao nyatili nya as a fono ko woto wole mu koti me ya lon ko ite do ko nyin nole ay la nyatili nyamulo te fana ila do ko nyin kono.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't tell us exactly where you worked, but could you confirm that you have worked on HIV/AIDS related issues from 1991?
Kana fo ko ke damen fam de barbitu isinyi sahandi wol nye ko yedo ko kele fanna la men ya lon ko wala kita HIV kunyalu no masato te kam 1991.
Yes. 1991 onwards.
Yes, 1991 onwards.
And
Interpretation from the lead counsel in Mandinka is perfect. But from the witness, it's repeated in English. It's not said in Mandinka.
okay, I would pay attention to that and then we address it. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Interpreters, be alert to interpreting the response of the witness from English to Mandinka. Thank you. Prior to you commencing work on sexual and reproductive health, did you have any training in that area of specialization, including HIV and AIDS?
Jangning ibedo ko datila jido jata kenda ya bunda la karola fodum yene karantale wo kunyalu la karola mentilinta HIV AIDS jankaro kunyala karobang.
Yes, I have had trainings.
Yes, I've had training on that field.
And apart from your training to become a medical doctor, which other training did you have in this area of specialization?
Hana kanyin dammanti ko jararo karanne fodum fanna bijile jararo la karola me ya lonko ya karanne hanfo ya koindi fen ila do ko na karola fo bijile ba.
Yes, I have had trainings.
Hade nga training sotole
sexually transmissible infections, including HIV.
Futo la karoto mi alon ko HIV ka samu o dulalto.
Could you take that again?
Munta nakfanna karam me alon ko mu futu ani jido jata kende aleti no fanna fanan karanne.
Where did you get this training?
In karano kemin tole.
I have had these trainings in UK.
Nani karamol ke UK.
And by UK you mean the United Kingdom?
UK niko UK wala United Kingdom bankoti.
Yes.
Hade.
And after this training, you started working on HIV since 1991, correct?
Brila nyi karamu dum botala wotembolam inata duku damu takabrin 1991. Fa bewele nyama bang?
Yes. 1991, 1992, the beginning of my services.
Na hade 1991 kata for 1992 maduko komasi o waltol.
Kindly tell us which aspects of which area of medical practice were you involved in? Was it laboratory or clinical?
Sai bunya kan afonye niko jido la karola ila doko tilinta mintole jala ropio dam mannom bang fodo laboratory kono ka kotoboro ke damen fo atlinta wotelela.
Part of my services were largely clinical, but it had to involve laboratory results and interpretations.
Nadoko karado nyanta terla karola pour laboratory wolom koto bodula aninka ila result ning ko funtindi.
In a sense, you are more focused on clinical work, but you also had to deal with laboratory matters, including interpretation of test results. That's what you're telling us, correct?
Ila do ko nyintilinte jara ro tukulela bari nyim fanan tartela do ko kono men kata kotoboro dinkirati laboratory pour que ko kotoboje aninka kibaro no fanali jibe ke fahamun ke sahandi wala ko ti me yalon ko fodu wala mbang.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. And since 2004, you have left your original place of work to move into an organization which is more focused on care for people living with HIV/AIDS. Is that correct?
Kabrin 1994. Even though
2004.
Kabrin 2004. Even though kola fanna menna inata buwoto. Yenya tilim bunda kota wala me yalon ko wala mdoku bunda te melu kama koiro nin topotoro ke molie men yin HIV/AIDS jankaro soto fodo na akata wala nyama ba.
Yes,
akata wala nyama.
And could you tell us, in your line of work, from 1991 up to 2004, how you used to receive and admit people living with HIV/AIDS into a treatment, care and support program for them?
Kabrielo ko date fukana bula 2004 alikam molu dundi jararo kunyalu kono nyadi le purke topoto ke la kolu no masata fuka sa hayandi men yalon ko wallekata nyi sasa toluta jankaro be menula.
Usually patients are either referred or received, and depending on the complaint or the circumstances that has brought the patient to the clinic or to the ward, if you are going to be enrolled into treatment, care and support, there is a process, there is a protocol that the patient undergoes.
Interpretation?
Kakeno nyameng ngakeno nyam wolom sasa tole kam minki nankan pro ena ntol kan ning ata mari confirm tele ko nin sasa le bala
akakenya men molu men yalon ko ike kinan tolu kan wala men yalon ko ikanan to la dinkira to jararo silo kan atutama amari la ko kenya le bulu anatan yamin ntel kawol le jia bitun nina ta hanfo jia wotumolon tol fanal kan to lakko no masata ke la kol bo nyoto e nyanta la nyamin bulo nyamemma ntel fanal sina e dundi bulo to pour yin kamala e si dun jararo kono.
Could you kindly give us a brief explanation of the process?
Saying, hanni ya sufiyan di barbitun akoka tama nyamin kabirin dunin sasa to nata fo alke dundi nyamin wo kunya sata nyabang alikata man dun nyamin wotumo.
To be diagnosed HIV, there is a process called counseling.
Rune viste nin sasa le kamin for HIV staran silo be jele kamin for counseling.
And that process is called pre-test counseling, at the end of which the consent is sought, either verbally or is signed for.
And wo taran silo ning wo nka wolefo
Wataran silo nka amari sindile ka kachandi na yediamu ka fole wolem nyinti ko jannabe dulna jara rokono nasi kacha ka polu baye nyoto membe caring hani fo na ya fahamu amunta ya ngani yodi utumolo ntalisina na kulu tamandi ko nyanta kala nyame.
Proceed.
Tenten.
After the pre-test counseling and the receipt of the consent, the individual patient, either with the escort or with the partner, is referred for a laboratory HIV blood test.
Sai ning na mari sitandi amtawayatara kwa yafanya min sikacha hanfo janimbe kotoboro kela na mari ning mole nata wala me ya dandan nan wala ana afutu mole nata ulbele kasi ni kacha hanfo ning ngani yo soto ifangulu sonta utumole mu ndel sina kulu tamandi nyanta tamandi la nyami.
Proceed.
That patient with partner or without or on his consent or her consent is referred to the lab and he awaits the result to be brought back to the counselor.
Fo animal narabon fo animal manabang o kasile nga na do ko ke dinga na do ko ke impareda na nga results masima me fintindi ala mari la ko don sa fintindi nga atande amari la.
See
that as he or she awaits the result, the counselor on receipt of the laboratory result, which is sealed, no name is a number, the patient or the client is called back and reminded of what the counseling was about and how it went about, and whether he or she is still prepared to receive his or her results or ready to listen to the result, the outcome of the test.
Ning kotoboro nying kita foka pare hanfo ya kibaro ki puru ya jube ni masimula bitu nyimari kasile aye batu hanfo ning ala kibaro ni pareta nang isa mabo wala mkasil niya awomanati isa dimo la meya lonko wala ya marole ya dia mundinu memu kansiloti so isi kibaro nyindi wala bar bitum fana wo katanle atanyin sasa to isa fahamundi ko nyim pareta le sai I pareta le kibaro nyim dila bamfo e laftala nyaadile.
Proceed.
And then
After confirmation, indeed, I want to hear the outcome, the counselor tells the client the results directly, waiting for answers or waiting for reaction of the patient.
nin kibaro ni muruta na mfo ya marlani wala sasa toni mendi amata kansilo nying so utumolom asi sasa toni ninka sa indela kibaro lufele ipareta le banga bondiye nyoto ka dila bamfo nin sasa toni ko ha sa impareta le pulungam fo la kibaro lumui abelare nyanyandi nyama bitu utumole meya kanso wala meya diamundi usina pare purka kibaro lunyil banke atamari onyiye ke lankene mai.
Proceed, please.
And then
On either way, for example, the patient results turns out to be HIV positive.
akata nyonyandi nyama nin sasa tonyin na kibaru fintitana anata jeko tonya HIV jankar kesobe amari lale.
Usually, the counselor tells him or her directly, which I said earlier, and now goes into what an HIV positive result is, what it means, literally.
konga funu komanto nyamin wotumo lemu me ya diamundi kibaro lunari adita menna wotumo lem asina kibaro di sasa tola ko bitunde ila result wala ila kibaro anay ayini tande ko to nyato nya HIV jankari kesolu belale bitunno botala lom isina pare pour que kolu tamandi nyama me ya lonko wole ka bula wo kolu law lanya noma anyanta kala nyamin.
Meaning, for example, you are infectious, sexually infectious to your sexual partner if you are found HIV positive.
Wala minti sa kondi mako ifutu nyuma wala ikafu nyuma sayin ibete momento nyin jankar keso belale adun nina kafuta doron nimbekele ko iba mari fanan sawunale ate fanan jankar keso nyin soto isiyo fanan kibaro dila.
You cannot donate blood.
Andun itete iyelo dino la modola.
You cannot donate organ or tissue.
Andun ite balajato kono fem bijie itete fem dino la modola wala hani bala subu ita bono le bala purka kafu modo bala.
And you are encouraged to join a program within the facility.
Tumole isinyi ya marodila pour yakafu programme kono yeda dundi programme kono wala yedu bunda to bunda me yalon ko bunda lori wala mu
that involves treatment
me yalon ko ika jararo dati ka tamandi bunda men nyimoliye
care and support.
Topotoro kaka wala to anin ika makoyro fanandila u bundalela.
If, on the other hand, you turn out to be negative,
but nin itatatara ko itabe dami jankar kesete bala.
The importance of remaining negative, HIV negative, is emphasized, and you are encouraged to remain negative.
Ni tatatara ko jankar keso tebulu atebalo kono ika iya marile wala kumma ya mumenti buto tembolem isina silolu nin tarambulolu foye ite mari nyante fansambala nyami be famutala nyami pour nyin kamala ite situ nya satara ikanana nyin jankaro soto.
And one of the other important aspects they ask you to do
andum fanna kumma kotamo men ike ya mari ala fanan
is to return to that unit or counseling unit for a repeat HIV test in 3 months' time.
Misinani ya marodila ko itata kotoboro la dami ni ya marodila dami ibita sila le hanfo nin karisa batambita yina murunna wo bunda la kotake pour ye sayin kan jube ka kotobo ila tembeda be dami.
Now let's focus on in situations where the test has become positive. Or returns a positive result.
Silang nanyati limfanna la dami yalonko na mari la kibaru lunata ay nyi tan ko to nyato nyanyi mari jankare kesolu bala le memo HIV jankare kesoti.
So what steps do you take?
Silang alikamun simfa fasonu leta wato.
To enlist the person into the TCS, the treatment, care and support.
Wala minti puruka ala kulu jibe abetala nyamin jararo anin topotoro ni makoiro la karola.
It is also requires the protocol, which is emphasizing, the counselor emphasizes, being HIV positive means at some point you would have come into, you would have attracted HIV through the most common way of acquisition of HIV, through unprotected sexual intercourse.
Betun nina na takko wonya ko betun jankar keso belale janni be dum non kono isi nyin kumma ya foye ka kacce te mari silo lu men yalon ko lebe kering pour isi nyin jankar keso soto nyam bari mentariata je mari la asoto feata nyamin wala isa itandi la ko lanyo ya musumin ke tema nin akake fankanta man kije fantankandi man kije wollem silolu timin yalon ko imari si ni jankar ke so sotonno wo silolu la tariya ke
the advantages of being enrolled into treatment care and support is emphasized.
Isenyin fanam bambandima tinew men bete mari je pour kadum bunda la me yalon ko wolemu jararo topotoro ani mako ir façon men itanyanta sotola isi fanam be ko ndima.
And you are also taking through some of the issues, the service requirements, the units, how the unit work. You are a counselor, but you are a team member. And amongst others, you are prepared for initiation of art.
Yo sila wotembole fanamu isina tenten kakacha itemari ka itandila itanyanta dunna bundalu menu kono kono menu nyanta kelete andu ite fana nyante fansambala nyamin andu ite fana be parelele pour kadu bunda kono andu fana bina kala woleti mem ka fen ko nim molle be dunna nyo kono men ya lon ko albe al hakilo tula nyoto la alla ko bitala nyamin anal be ko banke la nyoy nyamin isewlu be bondite mari nyoto pour silan ka itandila ko ila ko bebe tarla nyin tembedale to isiobe ko ndima.
And did you also say be ready for introduction into arts? Is that what you said? And by arts, you meant antiretroviral therapy.
Ako mundo wale mnyindi kufenye mfana nafela kumukana ko imari si pare pour kadum borita bundala boro men ikafai ART as well antiretroviral treatment well ikabor kesonu menuta ka foko esi fana famari ne fo ipareta be dunna be borita fana konole.
Yes, that process requires further investigation.
Bitu fananu kuleti me yalon ko hanimbi kisi role be fanan noma.
In a sense, you are telling us that by the person testing positive to HIV and agreeing to being enrolled in treatment does not automatically lead to the person being enrolled in art therapy, in ART taking, for instance.
Amunta silang wakanyini nyitandina ko. Ning hanifu altata futa otembeda to akweta ko amari nyinjankar keso balale. Amunta ibuka amari dundi la wajara rokono noto de. Sartol le fanal bije meni halonko. Inyanta menu tala ka kwendi anyanta kela nyamin janning amari be kokundin datila. Fo janning abe boro nuta damutala.
Certainly, indeed, the patient at this point requires to undergo, depending on his consent. That consent needs to be emphasized all throughout, with the counselor emphasizing the advantages of starting art. As I've said earlier, this person needs to go through preparation for art. One of the components is what we call pre-art counseling preparation. What is art? The side effects, how they work, what we expect from them, and when to come back, how to take them, and it's a whole list of about 18 questions that the patient goes through in preparation for commencement of art, including the laboratory work-up.
Saying, yekumo me itandite wala mnyintiko, wotembo lemu nyimari hanimbi kabri ya moro lumenu ditala, isi tenteng, pour que kumo dolu satae aka andu be menu yitandilala wala nyinti ko abe parele pour que do nyim borita kono andu borita fanan sartol le bije me yalon ko e dolu be ko ndilama le membitala hanfo bunda tang anin say nyong kabring abe bori façon men tala aba tala nyamin anin aba bondila damen nuto anin ate fanam bekar tala damen nuto pour ni awasulata boro be dila la nyamin anin anyanta fansam bala nyamin anin kokundi nin kule anyanta mellon na boro ni do ko nyin na karola e kawlu be sata e wotembo le fay koy amarima.
Proceed, please.
Akoy tenteng.
Now tell us the formal processes involved, the formal processes or steps that need to be taken before the person is admitted into the program.
Sayin afonye mun simfa façon le bije mun yenta mun simfa façon le tala pour jalning iba mari dundi la programme ko no feren faye dum e kawa simfa lu menu tay be nyono ma nyami lafta sila yo le fanalu fonye.
One of the important areas we call pre-ARV counseling, the patient needs to go through minimum 3 sessions.
Fanna me ya lon ko wolum kulu damuta dilati ikaw ko ndi amale yo me ya lon ko adoyata bake kolu nyini kono wolum janning abe jararo datila bundalu ikaw folo itandiya ala janning abe borita damuta la anyanta kala nyamin isio ko ndiama.
From what HIV is,
kabonyinto munemu HIV famoti,
the understanding of the disease processes,
jankaro nyim famulanya puruka kolu fahama natanya,
the interaction between ARVs and other drugs,
kol borolu damangolu ka nyin soto nyami ARV borolu anim bori façon kotangolu men ya lonko ite nyante tala,
including local treatment,
hanifo fanan na mo fin jararo sino fanan,
the specific areas of what we call opportunistic infections, what they are, how they manifest, and how they harm the patient.
Anin fanan fanna lumeni ya lonko sasa soto ka akakenya menu to silo lumenu la wol fanalu silo fanalu kenya lu foye anin akakenya min akasoto nyamin silo fanalu be yitandi ite marila inyante hakilo to law kolu menu to anin wo kolu be lari nyamin silo be yitandi la.
One of the other areas is you are also reminded the importance of adhering to treatment.
Isi hakilo bulandi kufanana me yalon ko kukuma balemu wala nyinti ko inyante hakilo tulale inyanta jaral fenulu tala nyamin inyante tala ya foye nyamin inyanta borol tala wala nyama.
Your maintenance of appointment, regular appointment,
andu ni nyanta nala idankul na jaral bundato luwolungu wolungulu manyana itemari danna ye lungulu ni wato lumenu foye be hakilo tulawlu betole pour karna ike danko.
the importance of bringing your partners to the clinic for further investigation
anin fana nyin kuma ya tabake pour ite futu nyo wala ekuke nyolu akuma ya tabake pour yolu fanalu nati nyin jaral bundato wolu fanana dunyo kan isaje isi wolu fanalu ya marisi la ko bonyoto pour isa fahamu ko itela ko belari nyami.
These are some of the areas that a patient is taken through, including he or she is reminded the number of episodes his blood or her blood will be taken for looking at how ill he is, how he is progressing.
Wodum fanan nyimbijele pour kete mari hakilo bulandi kulula meni alon ko isi wolu yitandi la mennu keta sartoluti ite mari itambita damenula isi hakilo bulandi wulula anim fanan silang ya foyon ko ha idunda nyin ko kono bari silang nyanta kilate ne la ko nyanta lala ten ko foyindi mallew itamari be fansambala nyami.
Mr. Witness, you are alone in the witness booth now, so you may take off your mask if it would be more comfortable to speak without it. Thank you.
Sedo idam manne bela buto ko no diamu dulato je. Ni nyada masko membela teng. Natara niya bondi abe kolu solo yandile bulle pour ka diamu hanimbe isa bondi no wayri idam male bije.
Thank you very much. So you've taken us through the process of admitting a person, a HIV positive person into the program.
Sila yesilo litan winnale mome ya lonko HIV jankar kesolu bala ikadundi program o kono nyame yol witan winna.
And you told us there would be counseling, advice on adherence.
Yenyu fanyen ko yamaro katara jele anim fanana ike yamar nyinnale ko ye menmu foye isilo to ko kan ye bambandi.
There is screening.
Andum fanan isinela ko jube ke kotobo.
There is advice on opportunistic infections.
Andu si yamar nyim fanan na jankaro soto nya sila kotago lu men fanal be kering.
Would you also include social and nutritional support?
Andu fodum fanan nyindabe bulala jele menketa hadama ya kolu nim balu kendolu fanalu la nyati.
Yes, indeed. That's part of the protocol.
Yes, we fanamu kulu kono doleti.
And how about the screening? What form of screening would you normally do before inducting the person into the program?
Porka marila kulu jube ka kesemeti. Alikaw tamondi nyadi le janning aliba mari bundi la njara program okon.
Screening has got specific areas that providers focus on. Screening for TB, assessing for TB.
Fangal le bije meni alonko nyimdo kulalu kawolle jibe kawolle fanalu ta katu ka jibero kele mennu be kerim ko kolu menu be ko TB e kawlu bele jube kolu kono.
If the patient requires, if she's a woman, requires further investigation, she is investigated in terms of reproductive health, in terms of gynecological and other aspects of reproduction.
Nimisali kama musolem wo jubero nyinda katarajele atamari la jido Kenya betembeda mento anin amari fanan ala kolu fudo la karola jido la karola ikawlu fanali jibele abelari nyamin andum atata Kenya nyandi nyama ikawlu belu masatale hanfo koye ma atamari musolem ala ko betembeda mento.
And would your screening also involve a CD4 count test and also hepatitis test?
Fodun allow kotoboro fanan CD4 count wala CD4 yiriko alikaw kotoboro kele anin hepatitis wala misali kama sasa me yalon ko min buyo sasa alikaw fanan jibele bal.
Yes, indeed. I would like the council just to mention, if it is a woman who is also pregnant, she's taken through the similar protocol, but emphasis is laid on protecting the unborn child from the mother's HIV status. It's a similar process, but a little bit different.
Nia jube kwenye mari mu musoleti dun andu ni tata ko harjew bala wala nyindi ko kono bala e wo jubero sila nyim fanan daka kafujele pour ka ferol ni silo lu tamandi nyim kamala wayri baye sa nyin soto mun nimune nyanta kala pour dingu memba ko no nyaala o harjewo satara wo dingu fanan kana nyin jankar kesolu soto babulu jannata maribe jidi la fo jidi wato nyin isio silo fanalu jibe nyanta kala nyame.
Indeed, the battling of investigations at the point of diagnosis or before the initiation of art is what we call a battery of investigations. It goes to about, depending on the capacity of your lab, it goes about 10 or to 12 other investigations confirming that indeed you are HIV positive. That means that is categorical. That needs to be confirmed. From there on, the type of HIV your confirmation determines, because your confirmation determines what sort of treatment, what regimen, depending on your type of HIV, what regimen you will need to be started on.
Sai ujubero kono kulle bije nyanta menu tamandila katu kisikisiro nyanta kilale meya lonko asahata bake andu kisikisiro ikataram bulolu fasong lumenu tamandije akatale asiata hanfo fasong tang animfula nyong itelikawo jubero lumenu ke adu niyo jubero lu fanalu tamandi hanfo abanta wole kana ayitandi itulula nyimario de angala ko kisikisile na nyinni jije adu to silang na bo boro lu tala anyanta afolola nyimbori façon kari nyolela melu nyanta bulala nyoloma nsina wolu fanalu e bonyoto ne lankene ma amario.
Mr. Witness, are you suggesting to us that the type of HIV infection the person has and the level of seriousness would determine the type of treatment and the drugs that the person receives? Is that what you're telling us?
Sedo amuda kanya fanya mko nyinsa sato nali ala kojube ala sasala sangarobe tembeda mento alikawle jibe pour alisalong anyanta dunna jara rokono nyami anaba folo la bori façon lu menula amunta alaw jube rokono nali yoje amunta lafto le koindi lamma bang amari nyanta dunna nyami anabe bori façon lu menutala satara aliala sasala sangaro tembolo.
Indeed, let me explain further. The type of HIV determines your regimen, your ARV regimen.
Sain amarila HIV sasa fasongo membala bitungole kaitan dumtolula nyimari nyanta afolola bori fason jumanyo lela anin anyene butala nyanta tenten na bori fason jumanyo lela bitun nkawolo ngoleto.
Also, you have amongst the battery of investigation, laboratory investigations, the person is also his or her CD4 and viral load determined from that laboratory investigation.
Bitu kisikisiro lumenu fana lunyante bulala nyono manyimari la karola. Yulu bekono nkawlu tamandi le barulu fana lukono wotumo lo mkana fahamu nyimari ala CD4 yiriko be tembe jumale to anina la jankare keso yiriko be tembe jumale to ikafame viral load ikawlu beju be wala kono hanfo ay koyima ya fahamu isalo balala nyami.
In a sense, Mr. Witness, tell me whether I am right here. You don't just jump and say, oh, this person is HIV positive, here is medicine, take it and you will be fine. You don't do that. You follow a particular protocol comprising of processes of counseling and testing and assessments and determination. Is that right?
Sebi laftaya ko ndi majang ko ka foko ni mari HIV sasa le soto am ka dawo damanto dal ya fa he say mboro fele hanide ale kakkoto boro le bulandi nyolo ma anin jibe rolu anin kisikisi rolu men ya lon ko I manke kilinti I fatatale pour que ni mari ala ko amana kibo anin ala ko kundi mbelari nyonyandi nyama hani fo wol bebo nyoto ay koyalima wotumo la kana albe menkela.
Indeed, that is the protocol, that is the process.
Would you say that it is reckless for anyone to just know that a person has HIV and then you just present medicine to be taken without going through the processes that are laid out in the protocol.
Fodum Musa Fono, Nimu Kuke Balolete, Kuke Balo. Puruka foko dro na lon ko HIV le benyina kaboro chika kadiala satara amari alimang alawo tarambulo lu jube o kisikisi rol ni jube rolu mani o visite rolu melu nyanta kila amari la fodu wa abelari wole nyama ba.
It will be considered inappropriate and not the usual protocol.
Amunta mbeo jelale ko wo manyan kela amanyan natala wo silola andu sa lonko kule ketamaya lonka manyan kela.
What is the next step after a determination of the type of HIV the person has and the type of treatment the person needs? What is the next step in the protocol?
Simfa kote manyanta kela muneti kuketa lukono. Hanifo nim misali kama aliaji bi altata long HIV façon nun banyina anin ala sa sabelarin tembeda mento nal tata hanfo al futata temboto mune nyanta kala simfa kota mo kake muneti albe men kala.
Thank you. The country's national HIV program has evolved years now.
Saim bankola HIV jaral program wonyina samulu sotole saim betembeda mento.
Years ago, apart from being found HIV positive, I've been given the opportunity to be enrolled into treatment care and support. You are also given some tablets that we call prophylaxis that helps to prevent what we call opportunistic infections.
Ninga tata hanfo alonta samulu komanto mba fulola watu meng. Na lonta utumo kusasa faso membi ni marila ala HIV. Utumo nka jube puruka kuolu dati isinaje nsina adati boro la meni alon kombe dilala ikafu meni utumo ku prophylaxis utumo isio boro lu di amarila asipolo damuta wala follow.
And all this process that you have described, is it captured in one document? You call it a protocol. Is it captured in a document to show that these are the guidelines on dealing with persons who have tested positive for HIV/AIDS?
Allah sartu kono fo abeka safele ka buntu ka safero landi ka akoindi puru sartu nin tarambulo lu mennu nyanta tala puru mari la jararo kamma fo wo safero lu beka kele bang puru ka kulu lankele ma puru nyin kamma la sama kamma akosi long abelari nyami menketa.
Yes, indeed. There is what we call our national HIV guidelines.
Tonyala akakawale nyaman ka fo wale na bankola HIV taran yamari silolu.
That are linked to what we call WHO 2013 consolidated guideline.
Amunda wo fanambe dending dunia bela jata kendea kafuba la 2013 sartol min tarambulu bala men ya lonko ye londe akunyin kama jararo la silola.
And to whom are these guidelines applicable?
Saying wo tarambulu men ifotateng ikawolu ke mo wala ikawolu tilimmo fason juwanyo lela.
The HIV guidelines, treatment guidelines are provided for, used for, and sometimes part of it are lifted as SOPs used on the treatment table or in the offices, but they are intended for all providers of care. This is a very comprehensive guideline.
Ni mutarambulo letimeni ya lonko ila ko isahata bakele ni ibebo nyoto kato ni mukuleti men yalon ko nke kenya men nyama ke kumandu wala ko SOPs we between sila wol mukuleti men yalon ko tarambulo le menu nyanta menu te tuno la je me yalon ko seta katawo silolula pour nyin kamala ndel fananu benno do ko landila nyi silol le kan wala ka wo tarambulo be bo nyoto.
And you said these SOPs, standard operating procedures, are applicable to all care providers.
Amunta ko ya fote nying SOPs walem tarambulo men ya lonko ilota inyanta alika wolandi do kulal bele men ya lonko leka topoto roke nyin sasa toli.
Indeed, including laboratory personnel providing support.
Nyin fananda bijele pour laboratory kono do kulalu men fanalu kama ko rodi.
Now take us through the decision-making process of involving or including a person into the HIV treatment, care and support program.
Saye nyin fanan fanye kamalu kalo min tole ani nyadi pour nyin kamala nali be modundila jararo kono me yalon ko wala munyi sasa tolla siloti me yalon ko ni adunta programme nyin kono wala jararo topotoro ani mako façon men anyanta sotola wo kallondo kake nyadile.
That, as I've said, is a teamwork. It requires the whole team, from the doctor, from the point of diagnosis counselor, from the team enrollment into care, from the TB team member that is linked to the unit, and all the other parties that are also supporting the the comprehensive HIV service delivery. So it becomes a team, and at the point of decision of making to start me or the individual on out, it becomes a team's decision. We call it, as I said earlier, the process has evolved. Now it's called the Readiness Committee that oversees the initiation and the presentation of the pre-ARV nurse or counselor that you are ready. You are given the clearance to be initiated on that. It's a whole process, minimum 3 sessions.
Saye nyin komelare nyamin akake kafu do kolet andu kafo kabrin doktoro fo kansilo ya marla fo kata kafo mo lumeni alon ko wolle bije kata tibi lonna la karola anim bunda kotangolu mo kotangolu meni alon ko ibeda be nyin silo kan anim fana menu bulobe makoyro la karola bitungol bele ka khafuje han fo me ka fo bunda me readiness commission wala bundati men yalan ko wala mu parandir bundati pour nyin kamala ma ko façon me nyenta dila nyim mari la pour ay borolu damuta iba fla me ni ART wolu be nyim bundale kasi kawo do ko lanya nin atanya jube nyim moye jannibe ko kundin damutala han fo iba dundila nyin jaral programme ko no wala na akko nyin kake ka fole la do
This art you're talking about, antiretroviral therapy, what does it entail?
Art mene ka foten antiretroviral therapy a jararo silo nying munim le ba kono.
Art, as I've said, is initiation of a patient on art, as I've said, is a process. It requires the individual patient from the diagnosis to be sent or referred to the pre-ARV nurse, and minimum 3 sessions. Apart from that, this patient becomes a patient who is fairly, at this point, most of the time confused, wondering what the diagnosis means, and he or she is reassured by the pre-ARV nurse and the other parties around him or her, what the issues, how her care, treatment care and support will unfold. So that is the process.
Sai akola nyabe nyame kabirina follow dulato ning ART borolu akakenya le makabrin ya jankaro jedami kafumo ya diagnosis kabiro jeta damin ko be nyin natenne buto wala nyinti ko jannin topotoro be damutala foye nyin ko lu jube hani fo no so membe talla akonyin kono e nole katanyo la kado ko samba nyola nyin kamala ate marila sola fengol menuti ala tukunu dum muneti anin mun nimmu nyanta kelaye wotumo lem o makorla o do ko la men be bulo nyanta talla do ko nyin kono e sina jibe nyinde woto silam futata tembo mala tembo me yalonko nyanta dondi la jararo programme nyin kono le.
Yes, proceed, please.
Saya
I think it's been brought to my attention that in the interpretation, opportunistic diseases such as TB was not interpreted. I think what the witness did say earlier was that there would also be testing for TB to see whether the person suffers from TB before admission into the program. And also, once a person is to be admitted, the person would be given prophylactics in order to prevent opportunistic diseases, such as TB. So could you kindly interpret that and then we move forward?
Amunda ko satara ko nyame yenyine itandiko opportunistic diseases wala mi sasa kota wala meni sitaraje menning HIV te kilenti medbe ko toto kurango koy ka fama ya TB. Okay, maybe imam le bari afatale no dia moñin kono ko TB toto kurango wo fana ka mariju bele pour sasa kota wala menu bala andu wo sasa kota wala TB be wala kono anin ku kota wala menu yalon ko isa jube fo mun nimule be ni sasa tola yo bar bitum hanim bin sitente nole sa ko indi ko e ko sasa lu be jube le nyimmo bala fo TB bala fatala wol fanal be ka jibele ni mari bala fa bala fatala e kawl be jibele memem bala ni alon isinalo ba mari jarala nyame.
So doctor, what is the next step once all the processes have been taken and the final decision has been made that person A would be put into the program? The person has been given prophylaxis. What is the next step?
Yo sain nata ta hanfo alonta wo kotoboro lu beketa hanfo silan ya long ila lodula momenti ya long nyin sasa to fana nyin ninyi bala ala lodula betenne silan mune musim fa kotangoti ikana menta puruka atemari prende silan ka dundi jara robu maba fa kono sila wo mumun sim fa leti kana menta satara o tembo ye nyimbe dia la menkata o boroti ka fo prophylaxis yol be dia la yol be topoto le fay pareta simfa ko tan mo muneti.
The meaning or the justification for prophylaxis is based on to support the person to prevent opportunistic infections. The common tablet that is used as prophylaxis is called Saprin. It has got many valuable properties for persons living with HIV.
Sai niyo jube rolu be ke hanfo inataje ko nyin nyanta ala jaralo damuta tennemba sambala tenne hanfo yatala nyim prophylaxis dia la foka pare bori kotema men ika aduya la folod lato je wonya ika fo boro fana ne seprin bitu ikana wol fanalta ka di nyim marila satara silan etelporeta menna yo bebo nyotole pour ka dundi nyin jaral programme ko no mutumulem akana wo bori ta damuta.
The other prophylaxis they do provide for the patient is deworming. they do warn the patient.
Sai kukotama men ikanake nini ya nyim prophylaxis dia la foka pare ikanamen ke wala nyinti kamari jube fo kaliyalu babala di women wala ka jube ndin kaliyalu babala isi fero ke wo kaliya jawulu ibelu fanalu da bondila koko no nyami.
Now after you have gone through the preparatory phase for initiation of ART, as I've said, the HIV program, the national program, has evolved. Years ago, you were given, depending on your CD4, you were given time, your level of CD4, depending on if it is low, you are initiated on ART. Depending on where you are, above what we then term 250 CD4 count, you are given prophylaxis until when your CD4 is repeated every 6 months, you may be initiated after the last CD4 test. But the country has moved on, and now we use a policy that the Directorate, Ministry of Health, has provided for that it is the policy of test and treat. Irrespective of your CD4, irrespective whether you are pregnant or a child, irrespective of all the parameters before, now on consent and preparation, you are initiated on ART.
Sai ninge nyimari la kolu jube wo jube rokono ikamari la CD4 jubele ni on fanalu be jube ko itella yiri karoto nan amari la yirko tata hanfa afuta 350 wolem kemesa batallulu ala yirko futa woto ko ya fana min prophylaxis bitul wotumo isiulu dundi kolu kono bari nyin kariworo fanan anyanta wo kotoboro lu kelale yo bari nata o samun la komanto ikadati wo nyale bari bitum sai ko ko nata tanya min jara robunda la karola nyim fananda bi jele sai ka fa may test and treat wala akodobo ya jube ya tara nyamin ya jara wo nya yo woto sai ko lu bilari nyamemma fama wolu be sahandi wolu be kolalo ni ilota bambanda nsina mari dundi jara ro kono nsalon abadati la damen.
What does initiation into ART entail? What is this ART you're talking about? What is antiretroviral therapy?
Silang niko ART ko fulodula wo fuloro wala min antiretroviral therapy wala min ART jararo siloti sila wo fumo koto mumuneti akakenyadi.
Initiation of ART is a process, and some of the processes we've mentioned earlier. The ART itself has, depending on the type of HIV you have, after you've been prepared, the side effects, the adherence, and the other issues around ARVs, you are initiated on nationally preferred regimens.
Saying, kobe tembo mento folodulato, puru benying ART damutala daming, kule meyalo kufanaya taran silo le soto. Kato kajubele, mumfason na nyinti menyanta kela. Aning, ako kola kutubabon kafo side effects mune bebula la wono mu kufasono le sikeno itela akonyi kono ikawlu be jubele han fo niolu be koytema aya lon ko to ite mari itela ila ko la sasa anin